Hello everyone, this is Vikram Kumar and welcome back to my channel. This is part 2.2 of India-China series, where in the first part we try to understand the borders between India and China. In the second part, we try to understand the relationship of India and China. In the part 2.2, we'll try to understand the recent aggressiveness of China. But before that, there are some of the basic things which everybody should be knowing that like what is the location of China, where is South China Sea, where is East China Sea, where is Xinjiang province of China, where is India situated with respect to China, what are the countries that share borders with China, and so on. These things would have been injustice if I if I would have not told these things to you because because geography is the basic thing that we need to understand, that everybody should be knowing. And guys, if you have not watched the part 1 and part 2 of the India China series, then please do go to my channel and watch the video. If you like the video, then give a thumbs up, and please share it with your friends and do subscribe. And if you did not like the video, then please tell me in the comment section below. Then what are the reasons what are the reason for your dislike, and what are the things that I needed to work upon. And so, guys, just stay with me. We are going to have a lot of discussion in the future. We are going to have a lot of study contents in the future. Basics about China. Here I have used simple Google map to understand the geographical position of China. It is China, and in the east we have the East China Sea, or the Pacific Ocean, and in the south we have the South China Sea. Here we have in the south we have Vietnam, whose capital is Hanoi, Laos, whose capital is Vientiane, Myanmar with capital Naypyidaw, of course India, and further south we have Bhutan, whose capital is Thimphu, and Nepal, whose capital is Kathmandu, and mm, mm, and in the west side we have Afghanistan, whose capital is Kabul, which also shares boundary with China. Pakistan does not share boundary with China. It's Tajikistan, whose capital is Dushanbe, Kyrgyzstan with capital Bishkek, and the big one Kazakhstan, whose capital is Nur Sultan, which is in the northwest direction. Mongolia, in the north direction, Ulaanbaatar, capital Russia, capital Moscow. And in the northeast direction, we have North Korea, whose capital is Pyongyang. And as in the eastern side, we have East China Sea. Further down here, we have Taiwan. And this is the capital of China, Beijing. Uh, yeah, as you can see, it is Taiwan. And here we have Hong Kong. And when you zoom here, we'll see the Macau. Both these places are the part of China as one country, two system. Now let us briefly look at the South China Sea. It is the most contested maritime sea which is claimed by many countries. There are famous islands in the South China Sea which are Paracels, Spratleys, and Scarborough Shoal. According to UNCLOS, the country's exclusive economic zone lies about 200 nautical miles, but majority of water is claimed by China. The red dotted line, which is also called the 9-line, from where the China claim its territory. There are claims of militarizing the region and the potential of becoming a new flashpoint with the serious global consequences. Now we can look at the important deserts of China. First one is Gobi Desert, second one is Taklamakan Desert. We can have their location in the map. I found it interesting that Taklamakan word has been derived from Uyghur language, which means you can get in but you cannot get out. This is interesting. Um, Uyghurs are the ethnic Muslims of the Xinjiang province, and Taklamakan Desert is located in the Xinjiang province, where China is running its de-radicalization camp. And further, let us look at the important rivers of China. You can see in the map. First one is Yangtze River, and the important cities located are Wuhan, Shanghai, and so on. Yellow River,
or Huanghe, which is also known as Sorrow of China, cuts Great Wall of China twice. Third is Yongding River, tributary of Hai River. It is a tributary of Hai River. An important city located is Beijing, which is the capital of China. And Pearl River, it is important as Hong Kong is situated at the mouth of this river, and Hong Kong has been in news for more than a year. So I thought that it should be included. Now let us look at the other slide, which says China is the fourth largest country in the world with the largest population, and India is the second largest country in the world with the second largest population. Um, uh, I try to learn this the size of the countries through a mnemonics called RCUCBAI, where R stands for Russia, C stands for Canada, U for USA, C for China, B for Brazil, A for Australia, I for India. And if you add A after that, that will be Argentina. So you can remember the size of the countries, like the India's position is seventh and China's position is fourth, Russia is first, through a mnemonics called RCUCBAI, as I try to remember it. And according to United Nations data, China population is about 18.7% of the world's population. And let us look at the economic status of China. It is the world's second largest economy after the US, with the GDP, nominal GDP of 14.4 trillion. Too much. Whereas India is the fifth largest with the with the nominal GDP of 2.94 trillion, and we are still aiming at 5 trillion economy. China is 14.14 trillion economy. And GDP in terms of PPP of China stands at $27.31 trillion, and for India it stands for $10.51 trillion. You can have a look at how economically China is strong. China is strong apart from India. Recently, IMF has also included Chinese renminbi to its special drawing rights basket along with other currencies such as dollar, euro, Japanese yen, and British pound. This news I found it important as this move has been initiated in the year 2016. When we look at the military position of China, it is ranked third in the world, whereas Indian military is ranked fourth in the world. China has the highest active member in military than any other country in the world, and India has the second highest number of second highest number of active members in the military. China military expenditure is about 2% of its GDP, that is of 13 trillion GDP, whereas India spends about 1.5% of its GDP, which is about 2.5 trillion. And when we look at the expenditure in research and development, China is also way ahead of India, where China spends about 2.5% of its GDP, while India only spends about 0.6 to 0.7%. That is even less than the 1% of the GDP in research and development. The expenditure in research and development has major consequences as the research directly leads to innovation and development. China has been very aggressive in the past few years. We arrive at this conclusion after looking at the following observations, such as there are ongoing border issues between India and China. We also looked at the South China Sea, where many other countries claim its water, but China is unilaterally deploying its military in the region. There are many other internal issues that describes the aggressive nature of China, such as lack of free media, human rights violations, especially in the Xinjiang province against the Uyghur Muslims, where they run the de-radicalization camps against them, uh, lack of freedom of speech and expression, human rights violation against throughout the China, Hong Kong issue, of course the tensions with the Taiwan. We all must remember that India never commented on any of the internal issues of China. China was also in trade war with the US. Trade war is a condition where both the countries go on increasing the trade barriers against each other products to discourage the import from the following country. China is also hated in many countries due to its dumping policies, as China is a manufacturing hub of the world. So the cost of production in China is way too less. so it keep on dumping its product in the other country where the native industries are not able to fight the low cost products of the China. China is also blamed for playing neo-colonial cards, where it burdens the country with huge investment and debts that the country became helpless and had to lease a part of its territory as an agreement. We saw this in case of Sri Lanka, Maldives, and many other African countries. Lastly, China is also refusing towards the independent investigation into the origin of NSARS-CoV-2 virus, that is the virus that causes the COVID-19 disease. Finally, after witnessing the recent conflict between India and China across the borders, that too after more than 50 days of standoff, is a matter of concern and time to rethink about the credibility of global groupings such as United Nations. India and China are two nuclear powered countries whose conflict should be resolved quickly before it takes any dangerous turn, and global communities should be taking active part in this. According to me, putting a blind eye and waiting to comment or involve till the situation gets worse is unexpected from the United Nations, as it must not be forgotten that League of Nations also failed in the same manner to avoid the conflict which eventually turned to World War II, and any war right now is going to be way more fatal and disastrous than anyone can imagine. Also, the silence of P4, that means excluding the permanent five, excluding the China of the United Nations Security Council, is also something to be worried about, as these countries with veto power should be playing active role in resolving the issues. With this, we come at the end of the India-China series. Friends, this was my first attempt to make any educational videos for you. I know there may be many mistakes, but stay with me. Things are going to be better and better, as failure is the first step towards success. You can also follow me on Instagram by the username vikram.jr.11. And thank you so much for your patience.